So, welcome back. You have your friendly neighborhood courthouse representatives,
Groupies.
Judge Bays and Judge Laird, talking to you again about our favorite topic, which is the Montgomery County Courthouse. So, a lot of you have already heard our presentation about kind of deficiencies with the current
Hmm.
courthouse, and you've seen the pictures of the rats and the mold and the stuff. We actually have a professional person who has gone in
Hmm.
now and looked, and this evaluation or report is kind of hot off the press. We just got it.
We got it on Friday morning. I mean,
Right.
yeah, this is a couple days old.
Now you don't have to take it from us. You
That's
can
right.
hear what the professionals are having to say. And so this is generated by Architects, and they're engineer, not, what are they? They're
That
architects.
architecture and engineering.
And so this report's been stamped off by the engineer. So with no further ado, first off, we'll just talk about heating, ventilation, HVAC, basically the heating and cooling systems in the courthouse. They're recommending that the piping needs to all be replaced if that system is going to continue to serve the building because the insulation or the piping is deteriorating, and that abatement process will have to take place because there is likely asbestos in the insulation and
Hmm.
or the pipes. And the most significant concern at the bottom, it's telling us the condition of the hydronic piping serving the air units in the majority of the building. The chiller and boiler are in good condition, but the piping and insulation is going to degrade, and the risk of catastrophic failure is more likely since the piping system is difficult to access and
Hmm.
repair. So, good news for us. I don't think,
Catastrophic failure is not a phrase that you want to see in your engineering report about the place where you work. You know,
no, especially when the public comes in.
oh, we summon the public in, and anyway, catastrophic
Yeah,
failure, not great.
yeah, I can't imagine a hot summer day with no air conditioning because, the thing finally blew. But anyway, let's move on to other unimportant things like water. Why don't you cover this one, Kristen?
Oh, so the water in the building. We've all known for a very long time because it's not hard to detect that we don't have hot water. So, yeah. But now we know why, because this report revealed that the expense of replacing the hot water heater in the old courthouse was too much. And so we just got rid of it. So there is no hot water available in the building at all. Um,
We want a
that's
new
not great.
courthouse. They won't even give us a new hot water heater.
I know, right? I know, I know. But, honestly, that pales in comparison to the fact that we probably need to be washing our hands with hot water all the time because of the sewer piping, because the report is that our sewer piping has deterioration and small leaks. Um, the piping system has most likely reached the end of its useful life, so that's not great. So we've got no hot water to wash our hands with while we have leaking sewer pipes. And then there's the other one.
This is my favorite.
It is your favorite. You want to tell them this one? This is your favorite. You talk
There
about it.
is no backflow prevention on the domestic water system. So I am just kind of gloating that I'm in a different building than Judge Bays is. And so you heard it here, BYOW. When you go to the
Right.
main courthouse, I would not drink any coffee I was provided by some poor unknowing court coordinator or clerk that does not realize what could be in
Hmm.
it.
Yeah.
Um, bring bottled water. We're
Yes.
treat it like when you go maybe to different countries where you have to brush your teeth with the little bottled water. So
Yeah.
what was the recommendations for this?
Well, basically, it was to start over in sum and substance. At the beginning of this recommendation, they explained that the water piping system is showing signs of severe, probably means severe, deterioration. And there is no hot water system, so everything needs to be replaced. They do point out correctly that if we're going to pull all of the pipes out of the building, we will not be able to conduct business in the building. So they describe that as being disruptive to the facility. But even so, they say, this is something y'all need to do. So think about what that means. Our courthouse has 9 different courts operating in the old courthouse. We also have the district clerk's office, the Office of Court Administration, the Bailiff's Division, the Office of Indigent Defense. Everybody would have to leave to replace the system. So it's going to take something really bad to make that recommendation. And yet the engineers have done just that. Because again, that word that you don't want to see in an engineering report appears catastrophic. Catastrophic. So we're at the point where they are describing a catastrophic failure that would force all of us out of the building unless we all leave the building so that it can fix it now. There's not a good option here, right?
We should
So
just hashtag catastrophic for this
that,
report. I think
that's
that's
the
going to be
theme.
our new, instead of don't Harris County, Montgomery County. It just might be hashtag catastrophic.
Yeah,
So
I
they're
think so.
saying at the least, since we seem to kick the can down the street a lot with the courthouse, at least
Mm,
hot water should be reestablished
mhm,
to meet codes, especially in the toilets, which
mhm.
should be for obvious reasons.
Yes, yes.
And then interestingly enough, if you listen to the other parts of our presentations that are that are posted on the website, we talk about the jail. A lot of people don't realize there's an old jail up on the top floors of the courthouse that's not functional. And they are suggesting just to remove all the plumbing from up there so it doesn't bust, which
Mhm.
it has in the past. Just get rid of it, take it out, because it's going to affect occupied spaces below.
Yeah.
All right, what else? This is verbatim.
So
Although
this
the courthouse is currently functioning, there are serious life, safety, and accessibility deficiencies which must be addressed immediately, such as fire stair for emergency egress, life safety upgrades, accessibility measures to meet Americans with Disability Act. The other issue the historic courthouse faces are overcrowding of departments. Growth of the county has put pressure on the courts, which have severely outgrown their spaces. The building's structural integrity, thank goodness, is overall in good condition. It
all
just seems to
right.
be
So we're
all the
functioning.
functions within the courthouse are having problems.
There are a couple things. That first sentence on this page is the one that I think is the most damning in the entire report because it really just encapsulates a lot of words. I mean, this hashtag catastrophic for sure, but also hashtag serious life safety accessibility deficiencies, which must be addressed immediately. I mean, this is what the experts are saying. And the experts are architects and engineers that are coming to see how we can renovate the old courthouse. And what they're saying is that there are some problems there that risk people's lives and they must be addressed immediately. That is a wake up call, and it couldn't be any more loud. These folks have reported that the courts have severely outgrown their spaces. They talk about the overcrowding of departments. So we have the same problem the jail has with the extra bonus of risking catastrophic failure and having serious life safety and accessibility deficiencies, which must be addressed immediately.
Specifically, it looks like the second paragraph is talking about non-code compliance, the absence of a fire stair for emergency egress from the third floor. So if you're on the third floor,
Good luck.
you're staying on, where do they go? This is your building. Where does the third floor go in the case of a fire?
So what you're going to love is the part, there are pages that speak about this that aren't part of our presentation, but that stair that goes out from the third floor is reported as being rusty and it isn't
It's not
really,
really attached to the structure of the
it's not
building.
attached to the structure anymore and it doesn't have railings. So you're kind of taking your chances if you go out on those stairs. But if you do and you survive the trip, where you will end up is on the roof of the second floor of the wing, basically right above my courtroom. And then if you're unable to fly, I mean
So no
that's
way
it.
down.
That's
That's
right.
it.
There's
Just stop
nowhere to
on
go from
top.
there.
You're literally stuck on top of a burning building.
That's exactly right.
Awesome. All right.
Hmm.
And so the building is burning, and inside we have not the right number of fire extinguishers that
Hmm.
have been maintained to meet local code, nor do we have warnings for ADA. So people with disabilities, if you're deaf, you might not hear the big beep, right? So they need
Right.
their own ways to be able to hear what's going on in the case of an emergency.
Right.
And then, so on the second and first floor, though, those are the stairs when they talk on this, the north-south wings, which are also not code compliant because they don't have guardrails.
Right.
And if you're a woman that's ever walked around in this courthouse more than a few times, you have probably fallen down some set of stairs. I make it a point of taking the elevator now, even as bad as that
For
is, or
real.
was before
Hmm.
they repaired the one, because I have fallen down the stairs
Yeah.
several times.
We've had jurors fall down those stairs. We've had
Um,
litigants fall down those stairs. It's crazy.
it's and yeah, and so then if you don't take the stairs, the accessibility ramps also are not code compliant with no handrails. And emergency lighting is not allowing for the appropriate access to exits if in the loss of power.
Well, and I want to be clear, I'm kind of confused about their language. We don't have emergency lighting. So it's not just it's inadequate, it's non-existent, but I'm just going to
They're
point that
being
out.
nice. They're being nice. Um, and let's see, the Northwest elevator, which they note, and I'm kind of happy because now people know it's not us. We're not making this stuff up.
Right.
The day that they visited, this elevator was inoperable because it's been having mechanical issues frequently. And it's also, even though if it were operable, it's not code compliant. Doesn't have the two-way communication. So if you're trapped in there, you can call, phone a friend maybe. Um, so they are requesting enlarging and making that code compliant, which the other elevator, when they replaced it for
Yeah.
those reasons, mechanical and whatnot, that was $250,000. So I guess we're
Hmm.
going to be $1 million now on elevators.
That
Um,
makes sense. Or we could spend the
so
money better. I'm just going to say that.
wait now, fifth
Okay.
and fourth floor. So we're not talking about the third floor and the first and second floor. Now we're onto the stairs for the fourth and fifth floor. What's going on up there?
So that's where the jails are, and so, or where the jail is. It takes up 2 floors. And what they're really talking about is just sort of the problem with any kind of fire escape if you're up there. So who would ever be up there? Really, they are unoccupied spaces, but that doesn't mean that somebody wouldn't be up there at a point in time where a fire would break out, like someone in building maintenance doing a repair or similar. More
Well,
on that
first
in a second.
responders, a lot of
Yeah,
times they enter from the top
there you go.
instead of the bottom. I mean, so I would definitely hate to see anyone get hurt, especially our first responders that are just trying to come to help us, especially those of us who can't make it out of the building that's on fire.
Mm-hmm.
So again, the solution is the same as all the other stuff.
Yeah,
Get rid of it, replace it.
yeah.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, yeah.
And you talked about this in your part of the presentation. No sprinkler system.
Yeah.
So we weren't lying,
No,
everyone.
see,
It
there it
really
is. It's
is.
right there.
And please provide an automatic sprinkler system to comply with local codes. The fire detection and control panel are recommended for installation in the building. And audible visual alarm devices are recommended. Also, this last part's talking about the exterior walls, and
Mm-hmm.
for the 1936 building, they're great, but for the wings, the
And
two big 1966 wings that were added, they're 12 inches thick. And so they're supposed to be thicker than that because you want slower burn times, thicker walls, slower burn times.
mm-hmm.
So you better move fast to get out because um, we for walls. So why don't you love the jail and this
I
business. So
do.
you do this one.
I love the jail because it's so totally awful. So there's a picture of very similar to pictures that Judge Laird and I have showed since we first started doing this about a year ago. That is spalled concrete. And if you ever wonder what is spalled concrete, it's crumbling, it's separating, it's just destroyed to the point where you can even see rebar. That's what spalled concrete is. And it's all over the place up on the jail floors. So that's not great. But where you have the bigger problem is that, remember, all the weight of concrete. We've got two floors that are the top two floors of that courthouse, and the concrete is crumbling. And the concrete is supporting steel bars throughout that whole space. Those floors are heavy. Concrete and steel, concrete and steel. And the concrete that holds the steel is now officially crumbling, and the rebar is showing. And yeah, so there's that. The concern is that maybe the situation is so bad that it can't really be repaired. It's so bad it can't really be repaired. But the recommendation that these engineers are saying is basically everybody stay off that fifth floor. So I don't know what to say, because I will stay off the fifth floor because I would prefer not to fall through the fifth floor down to the fourth, to the third, to the second, to the first. But it's also my hope that the fifth floor doesn't come to visit me at some point. It's crumbling up there, and it's such a heavy materials that the fact that it can't be repaired. Why are we laughing? Because if we don't, we'll cry.
Because certainly we have one system that's working. Please let the electrical system be working. Let's talk about panel boards from the Federal Pacific. From 1978, they have been known to be fire hazards.
Which is good in a building with no sprinklers, no fire extinguishers, no smoke evacuation systems, no fire block with the bricks. So that doesn't seem to be a big problem, does it? Maybe that's why we had 3 electrical fires last year.
That little spark to just set things off. Of course, one of the panel boards is rusting, which we have figured out the reason for that. They did. And which probably has led to all those electrical fires.
Right.
It's on the next slide. But of course, they're saying same solution. Pull them out, replace them. But let's talk about the existing switchboard. I think this is one of your favorite parts.
This is one of my favorites too. So look at that first line. The existing switchboard is very old, indeed, and has water dripping on the switchboard from the piping above it. I'm sorry, this is just so bad, it's comical. This has led to the switchboard rusting from the top down. Parts are also difficult to replace for switchboards of this age. So nothing can be replaced or repaired with parts. And so basically just scrap the whole thing and start again. But what I love so much is, why do we have water dripping on the electrical? And this is classic. We had the air conditioning system breakdown 3 or 4 years ago in the old courthouse. And so we got a new chiller that went up on the roof for the HVAC system. And they report in this report that the chiller is just doing great. But as a cost savings measure, we hooked the chiller up to the existing pipes in the old courthouse, which are not designed to handle chilled water. So condensation forms and they drip, and that might be okay, except they're located right above the electrical panels. I mean, you can't make this up.
No, but somehow none of it is surprising. The motor control center, also so old, no replacement. Parts can be found, get rid of it, replace it. Exposed wiring, which we already knew this was part of the earlier presentation. HVAC system, which we already talked about, the asbestos and all the pipes. It also has lacks sufficient outdoor ventilation to meet current code requirements for indoor air quality. And then the smoke evacuation, I guess no smoke evacuation system. The reason that we are putting this out is we were told, a couple of things when we presented, and that hasn't changed, which is the jail is a priority over the courthouse. And we have 20,000 jurors a year that come through these buildings. We have the public, the families, the people who are coming here to get help. victims who are coming here to get justice. I mean, just everybody, inmates that we're responsible for.
People go to work in these buildings. People come to court in these buildings. People come and do repairs in these buildings. People are in these buildings. Hundreds of people every day are in the buildings. And this is the condition of them, where we are literally using phraseology like catastrophic failure and critical risk to life safety that must be immediately addressed.
And listen, don't blame it on building maintenance. We love building maintenance.
Oh, no,
they're wonderful. Somehow they make this thing work. We know that we've outgrown this space. And so I do, me personally, I think it's up to the community. It's not up to one person to decide what's happening in that courthouse. Obviously,
Right.
the commissioners have the final say. I think we need out. We need the community out. They need to make their decision what they want to happen with that building.
The safety of people who are at the courthouse is pretty important.
Nice to talk to you, Judge.
And you too. You too. I guess we'll see y'all next time.